Welcome to 12.5 minutes. My name is Jared Kelly, and I am with my favorite friend and co-host, Liz Whitehead.
Jared,
So good to see you.
you too.
We um we have a lot of things going on. It's getting closer to conference time. We have more conferences and more things to think about, but certainly vacation, school, all that. Um, I'm very interested though, because you've given me a little bit of idea that we have a phenomenal guest to talk to today. So fill us in. What's going on?
Yes. So our guest today is someone I met through the Capital One Sage program. And then we had a moment together again on stage at the Webeck DMV event. And she does commercial cleaning, but what I really wanted her to talk about was a service that she has for people. Like, have you ever, been a caregiver and then while you're caring for someone else, the rest of the house kind of gets a mess?
No, but my own home. No, uh, I do understand that that's a significant issue. As long as you have good health, you can take care of things. But if your health goes and you have to rely on other people, it can be chaotic, and they may not clean the same way, or they may not take care of things the same way.
Exactly. And it affects your mental health and everything like that. So, our guest today, Emmalyne Head from Belle Cleaners, actually helps people with that aspect of keeping their lives and their minds straight.
Well, that's a challenge. I love to hear about this. Emmeline, please join us. Join us for this conversation.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Awesome.
Fantastic. I hear it in your voice, but my understanding is that you founded a company called Southern Belle Cleaners.
So actually, I founded a company called Elite Cleaners, and so just starting off as a startup entrepreneur. So I was like, let me use some power words like elite, prestigious, all those kind of words. And so we were Elite Cleaners for a little while, and then I started listening to the feedback of our customers, and they were just like, this was really very welcoming. You all are very, compassionate, because we're kind of seeing people at their very most vulnerable states. We're in their homes, we're dealing with them when they're at varying life stages. And so we really have to be mindful of that. And it's not just regular cleaning. We call ourselves compassionate cleaners. And so one day, one of my clients was like, "It's like you're a little Southern Belle." And so then I said, let me just lean into it. And so then we changed to Southern Belle Cleaners. And so our cleaners, I call them the Mary Bells for Maryland Bells. And so we're just, really lean into just my Southern upbringing, and just, making sure we're always, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, Mr., Miss, just really trying to show people compassion and the utmost respect, because we don't know what they're dealing with at that moment.
Wow. And let me ask you a quick follow-up. So where's this Southern charm coming from? Because I don't think you told us.
So, born in Georgia, moved to North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama. So I've been all over the South, but I went to high school in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA, home of the Grand Ole Opry, and I'm very proud of TSU, Fisk University, Vanderbilt, American Baptist College. So I really love Nashville, and so that's my home. And so a lot of that upbringing and just how we even interact with our clients, I've been very blessed to have cleaners who have jumped on board, and they're very much mindful of just our clients being at different varying states and different life transitions. We're dealing with people who have just lost a parent, just lost their job, just gone through a divorce, all kinds of different varying life transitions. And so we're just trying to be there for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so tell us a little bit more about that, because you started out as a commercial cleaner But
Yeah.
then you added this new aspect of your business. Tell us how that happened.
So, I, just like you said, so I was a process engineer, automotive, built cars for 8 years of my life and loved it. And was looking for a life just a transition in my own life. And so moved here and started commercial cleaning. And then we work with a lot of property management companies. And so they'll send us in to do move in, move outs. So we were asked to go and assist somebody, and it was different this time because somebody was actually there. Well, we didn't know it at the time, but she was facing eviction. And so uh, it was a very overwhelming condition when I walked in there. I wasn't used to it at all. She had a infestation problem. She had a lot of items you couldn't navigate through, and so it was. I was like, this is a lot for me. And so as I was, about to head out and leave and tell her, this really isn't. This is kind of out of our scope. This isn't what we do. She was like, just let me talk to you for a second. And so we started talking, and she was from the South. She's here by herself. I'm from the South. I moved here and I knew 3 people. She's never been married. I've never been married, no children. And so it was like a part of me. And I guess like since now I've been able to process it, a huge part of the reason why I helped her was just the fear that I would be in her same situation and wanting somebody to assist me. So just to be transparent, that was a huge part of it. And so I tell everybody she changed the whole trajectory of my entire life. And so if she just had one demographic different, I probably wouldn't have connected with her, but it was a connection. And so we came in there and we just took, I think it was about it was a few sessions because we were trying to figure out like how to even navigate all of that. And so whereas now, we got a whole system where we're like, we can look at it and we're like, boom, 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 boom. But at that time, we were just like trying to just understand how we could help her. So she passed her inspection. And then from there, she wrote us a letter of recommendation to the people who were trying to evict her, who were brought in. And so we got added to a vendor list, and that's just kind of how it all happened. So it was 100% my steps being ordered, because I didn't know. I've seen the show Hoarders before, but I really didn't know that it was whole companies that this is what they do. Like I had no clue. Like when I go to my commercial janitorial networking meetings, everybody's just talking about buffing floors and, how many cleaners you need for so much square footage. And so that's kind of the lane that I was in. And then once I met her, it just opened up a whole nother door. And so, now we're a vendor and we provide services from Northern Virginia to Howard County now.
And it's really an expansion of your brand. That compassionate cleaning really expanded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's 100%. That's why we're in it. So our I have made this our mission, but a huge part of it is we really like to focus on solo agers. Those who don't have individuals, and people always ask me, well, what is solo agers? And it's honestly so many different varying descriptions. I mean, a lot of times people just stick to the, regular definition of no children, no husband, but it's really a lot of different components. I mean, we were just in a home of a woman who hasn't talked to her daughter in 30 years. So technically she's not a solo ager, but her and her daughter are estranged. And so it's just, that's kind of our main mission, is to just be that trusted confidant for those who don't have one. But we service everybody. We work, when we were in the other day, she had her daughter, the daughter was in there, helping us determine what things to sort for her mother. And so, we most definitely, service everybody, but my heart goes out to those who have not been able, and especially those who, like, the more I read and the more I learn about it, it's like even a part of solo agers who they call it involuntary solo agers. So those who, wanted to have children, wanted to have a husband, but they didn't, and so it's just so interesting just interacting with them and, just trying to make sure that they have somebody that they can depend on and can, be a caregiver for them, even if it's just a short period of time.
Okay, so a couple things. First of all, I did not know I had another label that I need to add to my LinkedIn profile, which is a single agent.
I'm glad you said it. I didn't want to say it.
In your storytelling, just make sure you add men with no wife, no kids, no things. All right.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of those, honey. Yeah. But those are not involuntary. A lot of them chose the life that they live, but that's another conversation, though. That's another conversation.
Let's go off the rails. Let's stick to the point is that some of us are included in the community. All right. Have whether or not we're on the fringe or in the dead center, that's all right. We're still
Okay. You're right.
the other thing I think that is very incredible about what you're doing is that from a personal standpoint, in homes, it is compassionate, it is personal. And there are times when people, something that my family knows very well, when we've lost a loved one that we had to, clean out all the things in his home. And that was no minor chore. We had 15 people to do it. And they lived there for more than 30 years. So, you collect stuff. So there's that. And then there's also this aspect of professional and corporate, whether you got construction sites or you got, offices where like with COVID, people moved out of those offices. They left a whole bunch of crap in there. Right?
Yeah.
Call you and contact you to help reassert their cleanliness. How about that?
Yeah, and we've actually done that. We've assisted with some moves. We've had even some of our early on contracts, they realized that they wanted to go ahead and go remote. And so, we assisted them with their transition and decluttering. And so we've done a lot of that, and we've done post-construction cleaning. We have a lot of partnerships in that we're very proud of. We're in the Gilbane Mentor Protege program. And so we've done all of that. But the one thing I want to talk about is the point that you brought up about the family process in the house. And so that's the reason why recently I started really trying to connect with hospices. And so anybody out there in the atmosphere who knows people who need services for their loved ones that might be ending coming to the end of their lovely life, we are really trying to work with them before the transition, because what we have found is that it doesn't allow you all to grieve. So when you're processing a house through grief, you could just see it in their face that it's a lot tougher. One of our toughest decluttering sessions was a parent had passed, and the children just were having to divide, and it was a very tough decluttering. But what we had to keep being mindful of is that, they're dealing with grief. And so that's the reason why we really try to work with hospice and different organizations that we can come in before the transition, and we can kind of at least minimize a little bit. Because another thing that happens, everything goes from, 1 minute, this is just, a frying pan. Then the next minute, that's the frying pan that my dead mother made eggs in every morning. So, and now everything's a memory. So we really, like, our preference is to be able to process the homes before the transition. And then when you brought up that the person was living there for 30 years, when I say we do decluttering, some people call it hoard and clean out, we get people running up to us and they're like, my grandmother's a hoarder, my aunt's a hoarder. And I'm like, really? One is a mental condition, so you have no qualifications to diagnose anybody. But what we've all really started realizing is that a lot of times they're not hoarders. They are exactly what you said. They've been in a home for 30 years. Items have accumulated. Then a lot of times what we don't realize is a younger generation, people we've been in homes where a person refused to give away a couch because they paid for it on layaway. So when you had paid $700 for a couch that really cost $300 and you did not go online and pay for it, you went to Big Lots, every Friday, and you put $35 towards this couch. You don't care if it's 30 years old. That's a couch that it's more than just a couch to you now. And so those are the kind of things that I try to tell people to be mindful of. And then also a lot of times those homes are not even half the stuff in them are their own items. I mean, I thought that I was going to take the contractor's license and my professional engineer license. So I kept all my books from my mechanical engineering degree. And when I came home, you know what I did? I put them all in my mama's garage. Do you know where they were till 6 years ago? In my mama's garage. So a lot of times, a lot of those items, people move back in with seniors. And so it's a lot of different things that can be where it seems as if they're hoarding, but also their mobility changes. They don't, they can't pick up a vacuum like they used to. They are not mopping like they used to. If something falls on the floor, they just gonna scoot it. If they don't have the little prongs. So those are the kind of things that I really try to get people to be very mindful of, is that a lot of times it's not really hoarding. It's just living in a cluttered home where they have not had the best housekeeping. And so we don't need to go into it. And people are trying to book me and like, oh, I need you to come. Did your mother say that she needs us to come? We've been in situations that were very awkward and very hostile, and we were literally in the middle of them, where the child is trying to force a decluttering on the parent, and we're stuck in the middle. And so we have to be mindful that their anger has nothing to do with us. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whew, take a breath, because I feel like this is an emotional roller coaster with.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in some very interesting. I mean, I've been called a bee. I've been told, get out my house. I just City of Alexandria just sent me to mental health first aid training, just so I could be better equipped with, because we're seeing people at different varying, like I said, it's a lot of times when people see some of our videos, we don't share a lot of them, but if people do see one, they're like, how does this happen? There's no way this can happen to me. And I tell people all the time, you don't know the straw that will break your camel's back. You can see here, and some people it's the loss of a parent, some people it's the loss of a child, sometimes a loss of a job, mourning the loss of a marriage. So it's different things that can really truly affect just your overall mental state. And so I tell everybody, like, when you are going through depression, you might not even want to get up and take a shower every day. So you think you're going to wash a dish? Like, you're not worried about those dishes. And so it just happens. And so, we just try to be there for them. And we've been talk to aggressively. We've been, told to get out, and me and my cleaners, we try to have thick skin and just remember has nothing to do with us. We're just the vessels for the anger right now, but they don't know us. They don't know our character. They don't know anything about us as people. And, either we're going to push through it or not. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you this. On behalf of Liz and I, we appreciate you for pushing through. And certainly cleaning up people's lives is way more than a notion, on a daily basis or in final stages. So thank you for sharing this time with us. I truly appreciate your energy and that your ability to, communicate and articulate, this type of business, and the community impact is so completely obvious.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. Like I tell everybody, I applied for a lot of different jobs when I was a process engineer, a production supervisor. I was in quality, all kinds of different jobs. But this is the first time a job chose me. So I tell everybody that I did not choose this at all, but this is truly the walk that I was supposed to be a part of. And so we take it very seriously.
Love it. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Liz and I have a conversation to have now, but we will definitely reach out to you again and learn more about how you're expanding and growing and touching people's lives. So.
Hey, and I invite everybody else to connect with me as well. So there it is.
Thanks, Emmalyne.
All righty then. Thank y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it. And good to see my friend Liz again.
Good to see you.
Oh, this is awesome. So this is probably one of the first times we've had such a personal touch inside the business as well. So what did you, besides about my solo aging label, what else did you learn?
I know, I was hoping that you would say it. I learned, so I think one of the things I always talk about, and Heather too, my business partner, we always talk about being a go-giver, how your company will actually grow when you give from the heart and really work authentically. And, like she said, this job chose her. She didn't choose it, but because it aligned with her values and her compassion, the compassion she brings to what she does, it allowed her to expand and grow her business into a really necessary area. So I think that's important for all of us to think about.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I think that she's the right person. You have to have the right personality to do that. A very high level of confidence, a high level of patience and tolerance. And then also to not be judgmental, because this is private, and anything that needs to be cleaned up, if you have to raise your hand and say, I need help, then you have to let people in. You have to let people in and see what it is, and not being a judgmental person that says, what the hell did you do? That is a power. That's a power in the skill. And I think she's built and suited for it. So
It's unique. Yeah.
very, very, very unique. So this has been incredible as usual. Thank you for introducing us to Emmalyne. And certainly we invite everyone to join us in the comments and follow us on LinkedIn, follow Emmalyne, and definitely support Southern Belle Cleaners. All right, that's it for now.
Take care.